Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. Today we are doing most important chapter of history. What is the topic today? Harappa civilization. There is a most important Harappa civilization for the UPSC examination view and the all class student. There is a subject of the history and there is a syllabus of the Harappa civilization. Harappan civilization was discovered in 1920 to 22 when the two of its most important sites were excavated. There is a where Harappa on the bank of the river Ravi and the Mohenjo-daro on the bank of the Indus. The first was created by the D.R. Saini and the second by the R.D. Banerjee. There is the most important, their finder is the D.R. Saini and second was the R.D. Banerjee. On the basis of the archaeological is a finding that Harappan civilization has been to the dated between to the 2600 BC to the 1900 BC and it is one of the oldest civilization of the world. It is also sometimes referred to as the Indo-Valley civilization. There is also called to the Indo-Valley civilization because it is the beginning to the majority of the settlement discovered were around the plain of the rivers Indus and it is a tributaries. But today it is a term as the Harappan civilization because Harappa was the first site which is about their light or presence of this civilization. Besides the descent of the archaeologically is a finding indicate that is the civilization was spread most behind the Indus Valley and therefore it is a better it is a call to the Harappan civilization. There is a most important Harappa civilization. The recently archaeological finding indicated that the civilization was spread much beyond the Indo Valley, and therefore it is the better it is called as the Harappan civilization. It is the first urban culture of India and it is a contemporary with their other ancient civilization of the world such as those of Mesopotamia and Egypt. The Harappan civilization did not be appear all of a sudden. It is developed gradually from earlier is a Neolithic village culture. It is a belief that is a better technology to the exploit. There is a fertility plan of the rivers Indo-Mind has resulted in increasing of agriculture production. And this led to be a production, a large surplus to the feed and the maintain non-agriculture people such as the artisan, administration, etc. It also help in the promotion of exchange or trading contact with the distance or the distance regions and it is a bothly prosperity to the Harappan people and they were able to the set up sites. There is a most important here. By around the 2000 BC, the server origin culture developed in a different part of the subcontinent, which is also based on the use of the stone and copper tools. And this is a Calothotics is the culture which led outside their Harappan zones were not so rich and the flourishing. And this is a basically ruler in a nature. The origin and development of this culture is a placed in there is a chronologically span between to the Sirica is a 2000 BC to the 700 BC and this is are found in the western and central India are described as a non-Harappan is a Calothotics culture. There is a most important topic here arrive origins and extent. Extent is the most important here origins. There archaeological is remind show that before the emergence of the political civilization, there are people live in a small village. As the time passed, there was the emergence of a small town which ultimately lead to a fully fledged town and during the Harappa period. The worst period of Harappan civilization is the fact divided into three phases. There is the most important here. The Harappa civilization is divided here or three phases. There is the most important. The first phase here, the earlier Harappan phase is a 3500 BC to 2600 BC. There is the most important here. It was marked by some town planning in the form of mud, structure, elementary trades, arts and craft, etc. And the second here, there is the most important A mature Harappan phase mean 2600 BC to 1900 BC. There is also important, and it was the period in which there we are noticed well developed town with the worn bricks structure, inland and a four-gun trade, craft, various types, etc. That is the most important. But here also important here third point. The third point here, the later Harappan phase. There is the time of 1900 BC to the 1400 BC. It was there is a phase of decline during which maybe cities were abandoned and their trade are favored to lead to there is a gradually is decline of the significance urban trades. There is the most important here. Let us first have a glance over to geographical extent of the Harappan civilization. There the archaeological excavations reveal that is a culture was spread over a vast area which include not only their present day state of India such as Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, Maharashtra, West Uttar Pradesh, but also is a Pakistan and some part of Afghanistan. There is the most important here. The Harappan civilizations is area here Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Western Uttar Pradesh, and also the Pakistan and some part of Afghanistan here is the most important. And some important site of this civilization are is a Madan is a Jammu and the Kashmir as a short ghai of Afghanistan. Harappa is a western Punjab, Pakistan is a Monojodharo and Chandrodaro in the Sindh. Is Kalibanga and the Rajasthan. Lothal is the Dorovira and the Gujarat and the Benwalis is the Rakhu, Gari is the Haryana, and Damanbad is the Maharashtra will the Sutkang Dor on their Makram, coastal near a Pakistan Iran border, and the westernmost a site of Harappan civilization, and is a Ali Garpura is a Western Uttar Pradesh is a mark in the terrain most are limit. There is a most important here the area of the Harappan civilization found here. The location of the settlement of suggests that Harappa, Kalibanga on or Ghagar, Hardak is generally associated with there is a loss of river Savarmati. Monojodhara exists was their heartland of the civilization and most of the settlement are localized in their religions and this area has a content to uniform feature is a term of the soil types, climate and substance or pattern and the land was of flat and depended on the monsoon and the Himalayan river for the supply of water. Due to the district of the geographically feature, agro-pastoral is the economic was the dominant feature in the regions. And besides there is the urban settlement of the Harappan where on many sites of inhabited by there is the primitive or communities is a consisting of the stone age hunter gathering or pastoral nomads which is exist of side by side. Some side is serve as a port of trading out of post. It is maybe noted that the important determinant of the civilization are well is a planet cities and a specialized art and craft is a trade, textiles, script, etc. In this is a respect Harappan culture is a fulfill all this is a criteria for began called as the urban culture. The next topic here is town planning. There is a part of a Harappa civilization. The town planning of Harappa civilization there is the most important here. The most interesting urban feature of Harappa civilization is it is a town planning. It is a mark by the considerable is a uniformity of through there is a one can is a notice some original variation as well. The uniformity is a notice in the layout of the town, streets, structure, brick size and rain, etc. Almost all the major cities Harappa, Monojodharo, Kalibanga and others are divided into two parts. Cathedrals is a higher mound on the western side and there are lower town on the eastern side of the settlement. The cathedrals is the contain the large structural which a mind has been functioned as administrative or utility center. The residential is buildings are built in the lower town. The stairs intersect each other at the right angle in the criss-cross pattern. There is a most important here, a criss-cross pattern here is a used there as Harappa civilization. There is a most important pattern, or it is a divide. Their city is a several residential block. Their main street is connected by the narrow land. There is a door of the house open in this land, not a main streets. There is a most important here. Street is a main. There is a not open main streets. There is a most important. The houses of the common people, however, differed in a size from a single room house in a Harappa to the bigger structure. The house were largely built of the is a burnt brick. There is a one brick used for the Harappan civilization on this time. The bigger house had many rooms surrounding a square courtyard, and this house where is provided with the private wells, kitchens, and working platform. There is the most important here. The difference in the size of the house suggests that a rich live in larger house, whereas their one room buildings or barcels the mind has been to the intended from to the poorest section of society. The drainage system of the Harappa was the elaborate and the well laid, and every house is a drain which is open into the straight drain. And this is a drain is a way to cover with there is a manhole brick or a stone slab which could be removed from a cleaning. There is a corn structure at a regular interval by the side of the streets for the cleaning, and this so that their people were well acquainted with the science of sanitation. There is a most important here. Here show the is a great bath of Monojodharo. There show the biggest is a bathing place on Monojodharo. There is a great bath. There is a most important here is a totally civilization here is a great civilization. The one next topic is a some major structural is a remains of the Harappan town. There is a most important they are part of Harappa civilization. There is a most important is the Monojodharo, the great bath is the most important structure. It is a surrounding by the corridors on all sides as a approach at the either end by the flight list of steps in the northern and south. A thin layer of the bitumen was applied to their bed of the bath to the ensure that is the water did not seep in. Water was supplied by their large well in their adjacent of room, and there was the drain from to the outlet of the water. The bath was surrounding by the set of the room on side for a changing cloth. A scholar believed that is a great bath. The scholars believed that a great bath was used to tell bathing. And the other structure there is localized on the best of great bath is the granularis. It is a consist of the several rectangular block of brick where storing grain. A granalis has also been to the found at the Harappa. It was the row of the circular bricks platform which were used for the threshing grain. And this is known as from the finding of the capfos of wheat and well from here. A lothal as a brick structure has been to identify as the door yard is mean to the breathing sheaves and the handlings of cargo. And here show there is suggests that the Lothal was important port and the trading center of the Harappa people. And show their diagram. The show their picture here the dockyard of the Lothal. There is a most important here. And it is important show there Lothal is a dock yard of the Lothal side. The economical activities. They are a part of Harappa civilization. The economical activity is the most important here. Come the first point here, agriculture. The agriculture is a prevalence of their Harappa civilization was based on the flourishing economical activities such as the agriculture, art and craft and trade. The ability of fertility is Indo-Albanians of contribute to the scrap surplus is the agricultural production. It is a help in the Harappan people to induce of in exchange and the both internal and external with the other and the also developer is a craft and industries. Agriculture along with the is a pastoralism is a cattle rearings was the base of Harappa economics, and the granaries of the discovered at the site like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and Lothal serve as a storehouse of the grain. We do not have any clear evidence of the tool used for the agriculture. However, the forms of the plugging mark has been to observe in a field at the Kalibanga, and this indicates the plugging cultivation. The terracotta is the plugging has also been to reported from to the Bangwalis and Hisar district of Haryana. The irrigation was carried on there in a small scale by the drawings. Water from well are diverting river water into the channel. The chief food crops included beet, berries, sums, mustard, peas, and jevos, etc. And there is evidence from the rice has common from Lothal and Rangpur in form of the husk as embodied in the poetry. And there is a cotton was another important crop. A piece of is hubens is a cloth has been found at Mohenjo-daro. Apart from the cereals, fish, and the animal meat also formed a part of the Harappan diet. There is a most important here. The next topic here, industries and craft. The Harappan peoples were aware of almost all the metal aspect of iron. There is a manufacture gold and silver object. The gold object include beads, amulet, and the needles, and the other is ornaments. But the use of the silver was more common than gold. A large number of silver is ornament of the dishes, etc. has been discovered. A number of copper tools and the weapon have also been to discover. The common tools include axes, sweeps, and chisels, and the canvas, and the sparrow head, and the arrow head. It is important to the note that is the weapon produced by the Harappan were mostly defensive in the nature, as there is no evidence of weapon like a sword, etc. The stones and tools were also commonly used. A copper was about there is a mainly form of Kataris and the Rajasthan. The gold mine has been to the obtained from to the Himalayas, river, Veds, and South India, and the silver from to the Mesopotamia. And we also have to the evidence of the use of the bronzes through there is a limited manner. The most famous is a specimen in this is regarded the bronzes is a dancing girl, and the figure is to discover as a Mohenjo-daro. The bead making is also was an important craft. The beads were made of the precocious and semi-precocious stone, such as the agate and the ceruleans, and stellarite was used the making of beads. The evidence of the beads makers the shop has been found in the Mohenjo-daro as on the Lothal. The gold and silver beads has also been found. Ivories is a carving and the enrolling used to the beads, and bracelets and other is the decorations were also in the practice. The Harappan thus show there is masterly skill in the variety of art and craft. Here show the picture their dancing girl of found of Mohenjo-daro. There is a most important diagram here show of dancing girl and the found here Mohenjo-daro. A well-known piece of art of the Harappans is a period is a stone sculptures of the beards a man discovered of Mohenjo-daro. His eyes are half closed, indicating a posture of meditation. Across the left shoulder on the embroidered is a cloaks, and there are opinions of the some scholar it could be a bust of priest. A large number of terracotta is a figurines of the male and female has been to discover from to the various Harappa side. The female is a figurines is outnumbered those of male and the believed to the represent their worship of mother goddess. And besides this is a variety of model of bird, monkey, dog, sheep, cattle, hamper, and hampeless bull are found. However, there is a not of all these specimens in their regard are the various model of terracotta card. The pottery making was also an important industry in Harappa period. There is the most important here poetry making. was important industries is a Harappa period, and this where is a chiefly is a well is a made and where is a treated with the red coatings and had a is a decorations in a black. They are found to the various size of the shape. They are painted. The design consists of the horizontal lines of varied thickness is a leaf patterns and plane and the people trees. People trees is the and bird, fish, animals are also depicted on the poetries. That is the most important here. The Harappan manufactured the seal of the various kind. More than 2000 seals has been to discover from a different side. And this where is generally square in shape and where is made of the satellite and it's a note is a worthless that is will seal is a depict a number of any yani animal there is a no is a representation of the horse and this. It was a leader many a scholar to the acquire argues and that is a horse was not now to the Harappan people. Though there is other who do not accept this agreement. Besides, there are various kind of animals. The Harappan has seals is a contain some sign in the Harappan script, which however has not been to the deciphered so far. The most famous of seal in the one with their hornet is a male dexterity of represented on its. He is has a tree's head and they are sitting in the yogic is a posture. Yogic picture is a surrounding by four animal by the elephant, tiger, rhinoceros and buffalo. He has been to identify by the many scholars with the ascent from of the god Pasupati, Lord of West, and there is this other is a who visitor with the identification. Here show the Pasupati. There is a most important diagram, but clearly no show, but best most important. Or also important is a many types of diagram here. The first diagram show here there is a most important on find of the Harappa civilization. And next here show the tetracotta of human and animals of this picture. There is a most important here on the human and animal diagram and picture. Here show the battleman on picture. There is a most important here found of the Harappa civilization. There is a most important picture on this screen. Here picture show a terracotta cut from to Kalibanga. There is a most important figure here show. This diagram is show on the terracotta and found there is a Kalibanga. The next point here are trade. Trading network is a both internal with the is a country and external foreign. Was are significant features of the urban economic or Harappans. As the urban population had to be depend on the surrounding of countryside from the supply of food and many other necessary products. There is a merge of village, town, rural, urban interrelationship, and the similarly, there urban is a craftsman is needed a market to the sell their goods in other area. It is led to be a contact between to the town. The traders also established a contact with the foreign land, particularly of Mesopotamia, and where is the goods were in the demand. There is the most important here. It is important to the note that the various kind of metal and the precious of stone were needed by their craftsmen to make of goods. But as they were not available is a locality there had to be a both lived there from outside. The presence of such a raw material found at a site away from the place of its origin naturally indicate it is a must have a rich there though there is exchange or activity. The Rajasthan region is a rich in a copper deposit and the Harappan acquired a copper mainly from to the Khatris mine localized here. The color gold is a field of the Karnataka and the rivers bed of the Himalayas river and mine has been to supply the gold. The source of silver maybe has been to the Jawar mines of Rajasthan. It is a belief that most have also come from their Mesopotamia and exchange of the Harappan goods. Among their precious stone used to the making of beads, their source of lapis is lazuli. Was localized is a Barokhasan mine in the northern east of Pakistan. Turquoise as the jaded mind has been to the broadly their Central Asia and West India is a supply. A gate is the Chacolo community of the Carnelian. This is a seal cell and the most from there has from the Gujarat and the whole to the coastal area. There is the most important and timber of good is a quality and other is a forest product where is a forest obtained from to the northern villages such as the Jammu. The Harappan where is engaged in the external trade with the Mesopotamia. It is a largely is through the Oma and the Brahmin in their Persian Gulf. It is a confirmed by their presence of the Harappan artifact such as a bear shield disc etc. in these regions. Though, though there is after is fact from those images are rarely found in the Harappan site as a seal of West Asian or the precise of origin has been to discovered at the Lothal which is the confirmed there is a contact is a Mesopotamian city like a Susa, Ura and etc. And they have added to the about the 2 dozen of Harappan seals besides the seals other is an artifact of Harappan origin and which has been to discover include poetries, etches and the craniums and the beads and the dishes of with the Harappan features. The inscriptionally is evidence from the Mesopotamia also provide us with the as valuable information on Harappa contact with the Mesopotamia. And these inscriptions are referred to the trade with the Dulimu or the Magan and the Meluhua. Scholars have identified a Mehula with the Harappan's regions and the Magan with the Markran is a coastal is a Dil month in the Brahmin. There is indicate there that is a Mesopotamia is a imported to copper, calliums and ivory, cells, lapis, lazulus and pearls as the embonings from the Mehula. The export from the Mesopotamia is Harappans include items such as the garments, booze, perfume, leather product and silver. Expect silver, all this is a product are perishable. This may be a one important reason why we do not find the remain of this good at a Harappan city. The social differentiation. There is the most important here. Social differentiation. They are part of the Harappa civilization. The Harappa societies appear to has been to the is a matricals in a nature. The matrical in the nature. There is a view is a base on there is a purities of their mother goddess. As indicated by there is a finding of a large number of terracotta female figurines in Punjab and Sindh regions. As a Harappan script has not been to the decipheration till now, and we have to be satisfied ourselves with his limited information on this issue. The Harappa society is comprised of people following diversity of professions. There is include there is a priest, there is a warriors, peasant and traders and the artisans. The masons, weaver, goldsmith and poetry etc. There is structural is a mine at the side such as Harappa and the Lothal show there are different types of building that were used is a residence by different classes. The presence of class of the workman is provided to the workman is a quarter near the galleries at their Harappa. Similarly, their workshop and the house meant for the copper smith and the bed makers has been discovered at the Lothal. In fact, we can say that those who live in the larger houses belong to be the rich class, whereas those live in the barracks like a workman quarter were from the class of labor. Our limited knowledge about there is a dress styles come from to the terracotta figurines and the stone is a sculptures of the period. Men are mostly show the wearing a dress wrapped around there is a lower half of the body with one end warm over to left shoulder and under to the right arm. The other is a garment is was a skirt like a dress to cover the lower portion, and they use a cotton and the woolen cloth. A piece of woven is a cloth has been to found at the Monojodharo, spandrels and there are needles discovered at the many sites attest to be a practice of spinning and the weaving. That is the most important here. The Harappan people is a love to be decorate himself. Here dressing by the both man, woman, evident from two fingerprints and found at a different side. The men as well as the women arrange their hair in different style. And the people were also found of the ornament and this is a mainly is included a necklace, armlet, earrings, wear and bangle, etc. Used by the both of sexes and the rich peoples is appeared to has used to the ornament of gold, silver and semi-precious stone will their poor satisfy themselves there with the loss of terracotta. Our next topic is the religious is a beliefs and the practice. There is the most important here religious belief and the practice. They are part of the Harappan civilization. So our knowledge on the religious belief and the practice of the Harappan is largely based on the Harappan's seals and the terracotta figurines as available to us. The Harappan religious is normally termed as the animism and the worship of trees, stone, etc. A large number of terracotta figurines are discovered at the Harappan site has been to the association with their worship of mother goddess. Many of these is a represent of females ornaments with there is a wild gold glowings and cloth as a necklace. And there is a fan shaped the head dress. In some case, the female is shown with hairs in fan. Well, there is one that is show the plant growing out of the uterus of a woman. The latter types of probably is symbolize they are the goddess of the earth. There are many scholars who is referred to the worshipping of the Ilinanga is a half-fall and the Zoe Yoni is a female sex organ by the Harappans, but some of the doubtful about it. Harappan believe in the male deity in the evident by their cell is a depictings are deleted with the buffalo horned head dress, sitting in the yokes and posture are surrounding by animal. Many scholars identify him with the god Pasupati, lord of birds, or proto Shiva. Truly, some are that it is the in another instance or deities is a shown with the horns and the flowing hair standing nude between to the branches of people tree and the worshipper is a caning links in the front. It might be representing trees worship. Animal worship also appear to be popular among the Harappans. The evidence of the fire worship has also been to found at some sites such as the Kalibanga and the Lothal. At the Kalibanga series of the rise to the bricks platform and the with the pit and containing ash and the animal bone has been to discover. There is identified by is a many scholar are of fire altar. This is also show that the Harappan living in the different area flowing different religious particles as there is no evidence of fire pit as the Harappan and Monojodharu. The burial practice and their rituals related is with them has been to the very important aspect as religious any culture. However, in this is a context is Harappan cities has not yarded any as maintenance such as the pyramids of Egypt of the royal cemeteries as a UR as a Mesopotamia and the dead body were generally studied to the north-south direction with their head. Or here show the diagram of the is a goddess. Goddess, a mother goddess here. There is a most important diagram here. Here show the mother goddess for the Monojodharu and second here symbolic is a pupils trees is a Monojodharu. There is a most important diagram show here a mother goddess and symbolic people's trees from the Monojodharu. The Harappan civilization here dead body of the northern to southern side is a head and toward the north and the feet is a to about to south. There are dead where is a beauty with the wearings a number of earthen pot. In some graves there are dead where is a beauties along with there is a goods such as the bangles, beads, copper, mirrors, and this may be indicate that is Harappan is a belief in their after life after death. The life after death is the most important theory here. As the Lothal is a tree joint of the double whorls with a male and female body. Together we have discovered the Kalibanga has yard evidence of symbolic is a miracle along a miracle which is the content pot, but no is a bone or skeleton. This difference is a practice in the different religious or Harappa civilization may be reflect is a diversity in the religious belief. Here show the diagram here of picture a Hambed's bull seals from the Monojodharo. There is a most important here bull seal from Monojodharo found in a Monojodharo site. So our next topic is the script. The Harappan where is a literate of people or Harappan seal are engraved with the various sign or character. Recent studies suggest that Harappan script is a consist about 400 sign and that it was written from the right to left. However, the script has not been to the disparate as yet. It is a belief that there was used to the ideograms and graphical symbol or the character to the convey their idea directly. We do not know to the language there is spoke through the scholar believe that there is spoke of Burahi and the dialect used to the Baluchis and people in the Pakistan today. However, the further research along can unravel there is a mysteries and the enable us to know about a more Harappa. Most important question: the decline of the Harappa civilization. The Harappa civilization flourished till 1900 BC. There is the most important here. The Harappa civilization flourished till the 1900 BC. The period following this is marked by the beginning of the post-urban phase of later Harappan phase, and this phase was characterized by the gradual disappearance of the major traits such as a town planning. Art of the written is a uniformity, is a weight and measure, is a homogeneous in a poetry, design, etc. There is the most important here. The decorations is a cover a period from to the 1900 BC to 1400 BC, and there was also the shrinkage in their settlement area. For instance, Monojodharo was reduced to a small settlement of 3 hectares from to the original 85 hectares to about the end of the later phase. There is a population appear to have shifted to other area. It is indicated by there is a large number of new settlement in the outlining area of Gujarat, East Punjab, Haryana and the upper Doabs is during the later Harappan period. There is a most important here and some things of the decline of the Harappa civilization here. You may be wondering how did Harappan civilization come to an end? Well, scholars put forward many of theories in this regard. There is a most important here. The first here, it is suggested by some scholars that is naturally is climates such as a flood and the earth is a quake. Might has a causing the decline of the civilization. It is a belief that is earthquake might has been arise there level of the flood plain of the lower course and the Indo rivers. It's a blockade to the passes of the rivers water to sea and resulting in their flood which the mine has swept the city of Monojodharo. However, this is only explained the decline of Monojodharo as a not to be whole civilization. And second here, the increasing aridity and the drying up to the rivers is a Ghagar, is a Haka, and the account of there is a change in the river's course according to the some scholar. Might have a contribute to the decline, and this theory states that there was a no increasing and added to the condition by around 2000 BC. And this might has affected to the agricultural productions and led to be a decline. The next year is the Aryan invention theory is also put forward as a cause for the decline according to this. The Harappa civilization was destroyed by the Aryan who come to the India and from northwest around is a 1500 BC. However, on the basis of the closer and critical is analysis of the data, and this view is completely neglected today. And thus there is no single case that is explained to the decline of the civilization in the totality, and there is a maximum this can be explained the decline of the contained site or area only. Hence, this theory has a meet with the criticisms and the nevertheless and the archaeologically is evidence indicate that is Harappan civilization did not collapse and also is a sudden but a decline gradually and ultimately is a merged with the other local culture. The one most important topic arrive here are Chalcolithics is a communities of the known Harappans in India. There is a major Chalcolithics is a culture and there is a chief sites. The important non-Harappans is Chalcolithics is a culture maybe mainly in the western India and Deccan. There is include as a Bana culture the 2600 BC to 1900 BC in the southeast Rajasthan with the Har the near Udaipur and the Gilland and the key site of the Karanatha culture. 2100 BC to the 2000 BC with the Karanatha is a Chambal as a chief sites of Madhya Pradesh is a Mawala culture. 1700 BC to the 1400 BC with there is a Navodaya is a western Madhya Pradesh in an important site and the Jewish culture 1400 BC to the 700 BC with the Imogonas is a Chandolis near Pune, Maharashtra as the chief center. The evidence of the Chalcolithics is a culture also comes from to the eastern Uttar Pradesh of Bihar and the Bengals is a map. It may be noted that is a non-Harappan Chalcolithic culture is a through the flourish in the different religions. There were marked by basic uniformities of various accepted such as there is a mud structure, farming and the hunting activity. Use of wheel is a made poetry. The poetry of this is a Chalcolithic culture include of course colors, poetry OCP and black and red where is a BRW and there is a bean to found in the shape of various kind of walls, basins and spotted jar and the concave necks and dishes on stand etc.